And now, the Christmas in July summer celebration, starring your host, Mike Angeles. What the fuck? What's this? Hey guys, so I know what you might be thinking. Mike, is it a little early for Christmas? Not really. I don't think so at all, actually. You know what month we're in right now? Well, that I'm recording this? It's July. And I want to bring something back that not a lot of people remember. A lot of people forget about. And that's Christmas in July. And look at this, baby. I got the tunes right here. I got the Christmas tunes that we can listen to. If I had a record player, that is. Now, the reason why I wanted to do a Christmas in July video was because I was thinking about the Rankin-Bass production movies, specifically their Christmas ones. They're more popular Christmas ones. Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, A Year Without a Santa Claus, The Little Drummer Boy, I guess. But there was one that caught my eye that's their second oldest from their movie catalog, and that's, of course, the 1964 Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer special. Don't think I need to explain the movie. I'm pretty sure you've heard the song before. Rudolph has a red shiny nose. He gets bullied for it, which makes him feel unwanted and runs away. This elf Hermie wants to break free and become a dentist and runs away too. Wacky hijinks ensue. Christmas might get canceled because of a snowstorm until Rudolph saves the day with his bright red nose. And hey, it's a solid story that brings a lot of memories to me back when I was younger. Like, I remember back in the day when I was little, going to school in our PJs, watching Christmas movies as we're like either building ornaments or just eating sweet treats, waiting for the bell to ring for winter break to start. But as I was thinking of Rudolph, I then remembered this one sequel to Rudolph that I remember seeing once and then never again. Like, I remember seeing this movie before going to my grandparents' house and thought that the 11 a.m. Sugar Rush was just acting up. When remembering this movie, I thought that it was made by Rankin-Bass Productions that was just quietly pushed to the side to be forgotten until I watched like the first few seconds of the video on YouTube. This movie was made by Good Times Entertainment, who also made their version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in 1998, which surprisingly had some big names to it as well, like John Goodman as Santa, Rudolph was played by Kathleen Barr, and Debbie Reynolds was here as Mrs. Claus. And then there's just some like ones that just are random, like Richard Simmons is here as some elf named Boone, and then Stormella, played by Whoopi Goldberg. Now, did I watch their 1999 Rudolph movie? No, I'm only here to talk about the second Rudolph movie they made that is a follow-up to the 1964 classic and not whatever the hell they made. This movie is called Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, The Island of Misfit Toys. And it's something. So as you know, the 1964 special was made in stop motion, which Good Times did not do here with this movie. Instead, they made it with CGI animation. In 2001. CGI animation, not as polished as it is today, especially back in 2001. Some other examples that also came out in that same year were like the Jimmy Neutron movie and Shrek. But I feel like comparing the animation to those two movies would be an insult. It's rough here. It's fucking rough. The poor CGI and just the poor story as well were reasons why it got critically bombed and just had negative reviews. This movie honestly isn't that good. It's one of those mediocre, bad Christmas movies. But hey, it's Christmas in July and we need a laugh. So let's get on our Santa caps and put on our ugly sweaters as we gather around and discuss this odd Christmas movie. First thing we see is the Good Times Entertainment logo while zooming over to the house, which reminds me of the VeggieTales logo back in the day, and oh my god, the animation. I told you I wasn't kidding. It's rough. It's so rough. We hear a flute being played, which wakes up the toys, and oh geez, they're moving now. I think the panda is my sleep paralysis demon, honestly. So the toys hear this flute, which puts them into a trance going up to the chimney, which I refuse to believe anybody in this house did not hear the flute. You could think of it as like a dog whistle type of thing where only toys can hear it, but later in the movie, mainly towards the end, no, it's not. The rocking horse creaked as soon as it heard the flute, and then the blocks are just crackling down the steps. It's like a construction zone in the living room, yet everyone's asleep. We then get shown to the antagonist for the movie, being the toy taker, who's using this big honking blimp to take the toys away. Because he's a toy taker. Side note, I know I just went off saying how nobody in the house heard the toys moving, but how is nobody hearing the blimp? It's gotta be loud. The propellers have to be really loud, especially at that height. And you're telling me there's not one guy, there's not like one guy just walking around just, oh my So the toy taker is pretty much taking all the toys from around the world, and we get shown a montage of him doing so as well. Toy taker is also in the news in the Christmas Chronicles, which can't be a profitable way of earning, as you can only give it to people in the North Pole. Could you imagine just some Joe Schmo out in the world gets a hand of one of these Christmas Chronicles and is just flabbergasted? Oh man, someone's taking all the toys. There's reindeer drama too, apparently. Now, dentist? Fade into the narrator of this story, which is not Sam the Snowman. What did you do to him? This is Scoop T Snowman, and he's going to be our narrator. Oh god, his nose! So Scoop T right now is when this is all over with. So he takes us back in time to the past where it all started at the Christmas parade and Christmas tree lighting. There are no souls behind those reindeer eyes. They also do a cover of the Rudolph song, which is sung by the late legendary Tony Bennett as well. They also do like the opening credits too, so you get to see who is actually cast in this movie, and there's some names notable in here too. Scoop T is performed by Richard Dreyfuss. Jamie Lee Curtis is here too. Rick Moranis is the toy taker. A few other actors that they don't mention in this opening credits too is like Kathleen Barr returning as Rudolph, and Scott McNeil, who I remember him as the Ocean Double Dragon Ball Z. So I'm not gonna lie, that was cool to see. Back to the movie, we get like a montage of everybody setting up the Christmas tree lighting party, and we get to like my favorite scene in this movie and the reason why I wanted to talk about it. So walking you through it, you have Bumble not putting the star on top of the tree, but just shoved it near the top of the tree to where the star just rotates on its own. It's also the first time you see Bumble to where he looks like the Google Pets from Webkins. Then it pans out to show the rest of the tree to where you see Clarice and Mr. and Mrs. Claus just standing at that default 45-degree T-pose to look at it, with Santa just barely moving his head because they probably forgot to animate the rest of him and the other two. Stays on that for 2 seconds, then boom. Where did everybody else come from? Not everybody was around this tree. Where did they come from? But I too like to watch the Christmas tree lighting that same way as well. Wow, what a good show. Wow, what a good show, guys. Hey, same time next week here, so yeah, didn't do anything else. God damn it. Rudolph gets the honors to light the tree, which immediately goes wrong, but easily is fixed. Then as everybody's getting down and boogieing, we have Clarice and Rudolph just going somewhere else to, I don't know, play reindeer games. I don't really care for this part. It goes on for like 2.5 minutes, and I still have like an hour of this movie to cover. We are then shown to this kite looking for Hermie, and jeez, you see the eyes change like that? We'll get back to that later, as we see Rudolph and Clarice going back to the party, and Clarice talking about how she wants to fly. We'll get back to that later as well. They're back at the party. Everybody's talking about how legendary and famous Rudolph is, to what seems like he doesn't really care about that. He's uninterested in. They cheer for him, which I don't think we should drink. Yukon did just dip his pickaxe in the drink bowl earlier. Drink bowl earlier? I hardly know her. Thank you. I was waiting for that moment. They then get Rudolph to go on stage to do a speech, which literally nobody cared about. He tries to say in his speech how he didn't really do it for the fame and it was just wanting to fit in with everybody else, to which immediately everybody is like, light up the nose, dude. Like, even Santa just wanted to see the nose glows. Comet's fake as f. He was like, we banned him from reindeer games earlier on. They just got him up there to light up the disco ball. That's so messed up. Thank you everybody. I didn't really do it for the fame. I just really wanted to. Do the nose thing. No, let's stop, guys, stop. Let's calm down now, calm down. Is that a gun? Alright, okay, fine. Whoa! Hey guys. There's that kite from earlier trying to get Hermie to go to the island Misfit Toys to go see King Moonracer. Rudolph immediately gets over that feeling to go with Hermie and Kite to the island. That island. They head out in the morning in the Toothmobile, which can go and see, and the treads on the thing they just shrink and disappear, I guess. Okay. They do this new Misfit song because they learn why Kite is a misfit, and that's because he's afraid of heights. Must be a horrible way of existence, but also Rudolph feels like a misfit right now too. My question is, how can the mobile accelerate around? I'm assuming it's that thin yellow part that you barely see that has the propeller, which if it is, there's no way it didn't break off as they were still on the land. Alright, we are seabound to the island. We should be there in about like an hour or so. Sweet, that's cool. Hey, how is this vehicle moving? Is there like some sort of like acceleration thing for this? Yeah, there should be a propeller down there that just unshrinks so it can allow us to get to where we need to go. You mean that one piece I heard go kerplunk as we were still on the land? No. There's no way the propeller already broke. Shit. Yeah, that's not good. You still got the warranty on it? It just expired 4 days ago. That's not good. Not a good situation. Not a good situation. I got an idea. Hermie, I swear to God. Yeah, I'm in this too. Yes, sir. They arrive and, oh, yep, those treads just out of nowhere. Cool. Another song commences as we are shown the new Misfit toys on the island. And one toy I want to mention about, want to really focus on, is this piggy bank called Peggy. The reason why this piggy bank is a misfit is because it has no slots. So it's just a ceramic pig. Who's playing with a ceramic pig? While you're trying to still figure out why a kid is playing with a ceramic pig as a toy, I again want you to remember that pig and save it for later. There's also this boomerang toy, and the reason why it's a misfit is because it just won't come back like a normal boomerang should. Don't know why he would willingly throw himself away from the island. Like what? Is it gonna be plot relevant later? Here comes King Moonracer to get checked up on by Hermie, and while he's getting checked up on, we then fade back to the North Pole with Santa. Santa feels like he's going to be the target next for the toy taker, so he ups security by turning off the lights. There's no way he's gonna find those toys now. He's just gonna look there and be like, that's an oddly conspicuous looking big honking thing that would put toys in. It's probably not gonna be in there. Moving on. This scene confuses me to no end because Santa doesn't put elves to guard the toys, but toy soldiers. Toy soldiers guarding the toys from the toy taker, who is known to take every single toy. You deserve everything coming your way, Santa. To no surprise, here comes the toy taker lowering his suction picker upper thanks to the glass just being able to open like that. Cause that's a smart way to build that. Good job, Santa. And shocker to no one, he takes all the toys. Back to Hermie and Rudolph, they get caught in the middle of a storm, but they persist because Rudolph can't miss that reindeer date. He can't miss it.
I'd kinda hate to miss my date with Paris.
Did you know in the 1964 special, Rudolph grew up to be an adult, but in every other version of it, he's a kid. He is young Rudolph. Was Santa like, can't let go of this guy, and then just put like some magic sprinkle dust to just keep everybody at that same age forever? You know, like that one scene from Fairly Odd Parents with Timmy Turner? I remember that fucking scene. Also, somehow, Rudolph hasn't shared his feelings to Clarice about how he likes her. Yeah, okay. Hermie can relate though, as we are taken through a flashback of the Elf Academy of Dental Arts. Hold on. So there were elf dentists then? Why were all the elves in the North Pole giving him shit then? Are there like different factions of elves, and that was like the first time a North Pole elf wanted to be someone else, wanted to be a dentist? Cause that's fucking stupid. That's generally stupid. What? No, he's the only elf that was supposed to be a dentist. What the fuck? So, turns out Hermie has a crush on the Tooth Fairy. No surprise. And he gets cold feet and just faints. And also, the Tooth Fairy has a Texan accent.
Congratulations, Hermie.
After that flashback, the storm hits, which reminds me of this one video I made about something in regards to the sea. Right here. What's funny is when the Toothmobile hits the iceberg, the ice starts to crack, the Toothmobile starts to sink, the snow falls in the most jankiest way possible, and you think the iceberg would just shatter from the impact. No, there's just a straight bolt of lightning hits as like an added f*** you, I guess. They survive and rise out of the sea like Jesus, and they find some land where the Toothmobile, who did not sink, managed to get shipwrecked and find itself on the same piece of land. They find themselves on Castaway Cove to where they're approached by a gingerbread soldier who lets them come inside to meet Queen Camilla. God damn! Oh, great! Googly moogly. That voice sounds familiar though. I wonder who the voice actor is. That's Jamie Lee Curtis? So you know how earlier I skipped what role Jamie Lee Curtis was playing as? This is why. Hopefully you had the same reaction to me finding out that Jamie Lee Curtis was playing the sexy hippo fairy. Why don't you not talk about that role that much? Nobody's gonna go up to her in an interview and be like, hey, Jamie Lee Curtis, I remember you in that one movie playing the sexy hippo fairy for that one Rudolph movie. You remember that? I feel like that could either be like, oh my god, you remember that? And make her day, or weird her out. Just freaking weird her out. Camila is paranoid and thinks that the duo are thieves until Rudolph does, you know, the thing. She then apologizes and then goes into a song, which is not sung by Jamie Lee Curtis. I am very disappointed. So Queen Camilla's job is basically doing surgery for toys, which, another side note, hold on. Did King Moonracer know about her? It doesn't seem like it cost anything, and it would help out a lot of toys from having to be stuck on that island forever. But hey, what do I know? All I know is that Rudolph says, hey, we can help get these toys to a home, which Camilla's like, hey bro, I'll do anything on the house for you, bro. Rudolph, thinking that this is a good opportunity to get a new nose, and Hermie to get a date with the Tooth Fairy, which she completely ignores. She says, shut the fuck up. Alright, Rudolph, you get your new nose. So not only can they do surgery on toys, but they can do it on Reindeer too? Doesn't seem like the same thing, but hey, who do I know? I'm not a surgeon. I'm not a toy surgeon.
But what if it's another foggy Christmas Eve?
Santa can't afford headlights, darling?
You know what? She's got a point. Rudolph decides, actually, let me think about it, as Camilla fixes the Toothmobile, and they go on their way back to the island in time for that reindeer date, baby. She struggles to fly. Rudolph mentions the potential nose job, to where she says she loves him and his nose. He tells her how he feels. She flies. Yippee, we did it. Comet flies it too to tell him that Santa's warehouse was robbed, and oh my god, I forgot about Santa's warehouse. So the time of when we get to Santa locking up the warehouse and fading away from the toy taker stealing everything to where Comet gets to the duo is like a full 15 minutes. Honestly, totally forgot about the warehouse being robbed. Totally forgot about that whole thing, but we're back to it.
He took every single toy we made. And even the toys guarding the toys!
No shit! Santa feeling hopeless, thinking that this Christmas is going to just be a toyless Christmas, which is an easy way of just getting kids to honestly just believe that Santa's not real. As everybody's trying to figure out how to catch the toy taker, that's when Hank the Elf mentions that last night he saw a blimp and didn't mention anything until now. It's not like we were looking out for anything being suspicious of toy taker snatching shenanigans. Dude, they look for clues in the warehouse to where they find some loose stuffing. That's real gross, Santa. By just tasting this stuffing, they can tell it's a old stuffing they used to have back in the day, and they also find some odd footprints. They figure out the next place the toy taker will go to is either the island of Misfit Toys or Castaway Cove. So the group gets together to go out as it fades away to the toy taker on the island of, hey, wait a minute. That's a piggy bank, but not just any piggy bank. The piggy bank from the island of Misfit Toys. The piggy bank from the island of Misfit Toys that I told you to remember. And there's moments where you can see during that little iceberg scene where there's no slots on the piggy bank, and they haven't gone to the island of Misfit Toys yet. So are we just being lazy here and reusing models then? Or are there more children just playing with ceramic pigs as toys? Like, what the? You got a lot of explaining to do, people behind this movie, and you're kind of 24 years late by the time I'm recording this. So get to it. Also, this iceberg is like really empty to not just have an entire whole wide world's stock of toys in there. So just thought I'd mention that. It seems like the toy taker's already gone into Camilla's toys, to where they head over to Moonracer to tell him the plan to disguise himself as toys and get inside the blimp. Yukon really committed to the bit as he's dressing up as a ballerina, and every time I see this bunny costume I think of that one scene with Jorgen von Strangle. So the group manages to get on the blimp, minus Bumble, who starts to paddle on a block of ice following them. Rudolph lets the toys know that they're here to rescue them, but it seems like the toys are still under the flute's trance, so cover's blown, and he's like, goddamn piggy bank again. Traptor gets them, but hey, they're okay. No need to worry about that. Now Yukon goes and chases the toy taker, but his spiky cleats are popping the blimp. Then out of nowhere, when you least expect it, that goddamn boomerang comes back and hits Yukon. I knew you were up to no good. Don't worry, as Bumble is there for the save and the tickles too, I guess. Hermie tries to guide the blimp to safety as Rudolph and Clarice go on to chase the toy taker in the peppermint mine. This chase kind of goes on for a while until the tracks end, to where they are now going on a foot race once more. Yukon then goes full cowboy, wrangles him up in floss, and boom, the toy taker is officially captured. They rip off the disguise Scooby-Doo style, to where they find out that the toy taker is actually a worn down teddy bear, which explains the leftover stuffing everywhere he went, which honestly honestly, I'm surprised that he still has stuffing. I'm surprised he's not just some deflated teddy bear sack. The teddy bear's name is Mr. Cuddles, and the reason why he did all of this is because as his owner grew older, he got more and more neglected, leaving him to be put into a box, thrown out, and abandoned for the rest of his days. He also sings a song about it too, which makes me want to mention this now. I honestly thought the songs were going to be like bad or cringe or so, but honestly, songs are kind of a bop. They're kind of good. Like honestly, I could listen to that chorus of the Misfit Toys song all day. Just
Island of Misfit Toys, 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 toys. We're on the island of Misfit Toys, toys.
This one from Mr. Cuddles though, not feeling it. I think this one's the weakest one. But it turns out his owner has been looking for him this whole time. Kind of like a Toy Story 3 scenario, but before Toy Story 3 did it, you know? Queen Camilla fixes up Mr. Cuddles, and Rudolph, realizing how clutch his nose was in times of need, just helping out him and his friends, decides to keep the nose the way it is. Santa then goes off to drop off the toys and Mr. Cuddles to the owner's daughter, because his owner grew up and now as a kid, give Mr. Cuddles the toy, boom, happy ending. But it's not over yet, because you know who arrives at the North Pole? The Tooth Fairy herself. Hermie got the date, baby. Now this is where the movie would end with the scene regarding Mr. Cuddles, but there's actually an end credit scene to Hermie working on the teeth of the head honcho elf, who I still haven't learned the name of. They gave us an inside shot of his mouth as he just closes his mouth, and that's unfortunately the end of the movie. Why did it end like that? So that was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on the island of the Misfit Toys. Kind of Honestly, this movie kind of felt all over the place, with some scenes just really not contributing to the main plot and were just put in there just to add padding for the movie. And as you saw from the movie, the CGI was just not good. But you know what? I'm glad I got to watch this movie again and get to experience it one more time with you guys for Christmas in July, and then we forget about it until the next upcoming winter. Winter? I hardly know her. Wow, that was a funny joke. Laugh. Anyways, it's me editing me. You can tell it's editing me because, well, I'm not wearing the sweater, of course. Sorry for like the messy room in the background. I'm kind of in the middle of also rearranging my closet. But the reason why I'm kind of stopping this video right before the end is just to say, as I was editing this video you're watching, I actually hit 1,000 subscribers. Wow. Honest to God, I never thought I'd hit 1,000, let alone 500 this close. I at least thought I was going to probably hit 500 by the end of this year. But in 2 days of posting the video before this one, I hit already doubled my subscriber count, and then 15 days after posting that video, I already hit 1,000, and that's awesome. But now that I hit 1,000 subscribers, I can actually monetize these videos and really just try to lock in and make sure that it's good enough to post. Also, you're now contributing to helping me buy this stuff, so thanks, I appreciate it. It's just really cool that I was able to hit this small yet very special milestone for me, and during this little very up and down summer I'm having right now. You can also check out this community post too. I'll link it in the description below if you want to read it as well. But again, thank you very much for helping me hit this milestone. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope you guys that are new will like the future content. I'm gonna go now so I can finish this video. I'm very tired. Bye now. Bye. But that's gonna end it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you all did enjoy. Let me know in the comments below if you actually remember watching this movie growing up. And also, you know what? Comment googly moogly if you made it this far into the video. Let's just flood the comments with googly moogly and see which one stayed to the end. Where my googly mooglies at, eh? Also, subscribe, as I'll put a smile on my face. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got some flu lessons to attend to. You're not even gonna expect it this winter. You won't even see it coming. You won't see it coming. But, yeah. Okay, bye.